Hey everyone, my name's MC Tracy from Responsive Technology Partners. Today we're going to be talking about the Colonial pipeline attack that happened on May 7th. Now, I got to recently sit down with three of our company presidents, Mike Abbott from North Carolina, Tom Glover from Georgia, and Jose Ramon from Florida, and they're all going to be talking today about the Colonial pipeline attack, but also cybersecurity and what to look for in your own business so that you don't get hacked. So without further ado, let's hear from Mike about what actually happened with the Colonial pipeline attack.
Hi, I'm Mike Abbott, and I am North Carolina president with Responsive Technology Partners. I'm located in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, so Mike, would you just introduce the video and kind of what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the Colonial pipeline attack and in general cybersecurity and how these events typically unfold or that we've seen unfold. Most people are aware that the Colonial Pipeline Company experienced a cybersecurity event on May the 7th of this year. And there was a lot of news coverage about it, really in the United States and in the world because of the cybersecurity event, but also because of the results, in particular, the large fuel shortage, the gasoline shortage that occurred in the eastern United States. The Colonial pipeline attack was believed to have been perpetrated by an Eastern European Russian group that goes by the name of DarkSide, and it was a very significant event for that company, for Colonial Pipeline as well. It's understood that the ransom that was paid was somewhere in excess of $4 million, but the total cost is far greater than that for that company, and of course, it interrupted commerce throughout the United States.
All right, so Mike just told us all about the Colonial pipeline, or at least as much as we know so far. And it sounds like the only reason we're all talking about this is because of the fuel shortage that happened and how we didn't know if we would be able to drive anywhere. So how does a company that's as big as the Colonial pipeline that spends millions on cybersecurity every year, how does a company like that get hacked? How does something like this even happen to begin with? Let's talk to Tom more about the cybersecurity processes and what to look for in your own company.
Hey, I'm Tom Glover, president of Responsive Technology Partners, Georgia. And I founded part of the company originally in 2007 as Cagentis and have run the Georgia operation since joining forces with Pineland Telco in 2019.
So how does something like this happen?
Well, specifically with the Colonial pipeline attack, we still don't know all the details. They're still working with their insurance company, with the response team. It'll probably be a while before we do get details, but typically speaking, these attacks come in through, I think it's like 94% of them come in through email. So they're going to come in through a phishing email or through some form of social engineering where the attackers are trying to get information or get a foothold into the network. I just read a recent study that showed that cybercrime rose over 600% during COVID-19. So
wow.
you just think about the numbers there and that sheer volume, the probability of someone getting hit went up significantly.
So Tom, how does something like this happen?
Well, the majority of the attacks come in through email. That's in cyber defense terms, that's the biggest attack vector. But there are several other ways that they can come in. It can be through stealing credentials off the dark web, which is kind of the underbelly of the internet. It can be through infected USB drives that are planted in places where an employee might pick it up. But still over 90% of these come in through traditional email, social engineering, or phishing type attacks.
So how often do things like this happen?
A lot more frequently than you would think. You know, in a recent study, I saw that estimates are up to 4,000 times per day. Now, if you do the math, that averages out to 21 attack every 22 seconds. That's staggering.
Man, that's shocking.
Those numbers are just based on what's reported. You know, a
Right.
lot of studies show that a majority of the attacks are never reported. You know, and it's because of either embarrassment that the owner of the business is embarrassed that it happened to them, or in a lot of cases, they don't know who to report it to or how to report it. So when you combine that and you look at, what could potentially be out there, it really is staggering. There's an estimate I saw recently that in the US in 2020, losses were in excess of $20 billion due to cybercrime. So yeah, it's a lot more frequent than any of us would like. And the sad thing is most of it's avoidable. With very simple controls put in place with training our employees on what to look for, with keeping systems patched, with putting a modern antivirus or endpoint protection product on the systems, we could drastically reduce those numbers.
Now let's hear from Jose.
I am Jose Ramon. I am the Vice President of Business Development in Florida for Responsive Technology Partners.
Okay, Jose, so what do companies need to do today to protect themselves from this happening to them?
So that's an excellent question. So in my opinion, most companies are not doing enough to create a secure environment at this point. I would recommend as a starting point several steps to consider. First, have a frank conversation between your management and your IT team about cybersecurity. Second, be prepared in these three crucial areas: IT infrastructure, administrative security policies, and cybersecurity training for all staff members. And third, ask the following questions to get the conversation started with your team. Number one, do we have a secure backup plan which includes a local and cloud-based backup? Number two, do we have a security firewall and protection in place with up-to-date security subscriptions? Number three, are cybersecurity best practices and guidelines being followed? Number four, are systems being updated on a monthly basis with the latest critical updates? Number five, do we have cybersecurity insurance? Number six, do we have an incident response plan? So as you can see, these basic questions will get the conversation started and hopefully lead the company to a more secure place. Again, while most cyber attacks may not make the news, like in the case of the Colonial Pipeline Company, or just the one this week with the JBS company, rest assured that they are extremely painful and costly to any company.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Jose. I think those are some really great points. And we're actually going to have a document that our viewers can download to, go through this checklist and make sure that they have the best security processes in place. So thank you so much for those tips.
Thank you.
All right, wow, that was awesome. I want to give a special thank you to Mike, Tom, and Jose for sitting down and sharing some of their expertise on the Colonial Pipeline attack and how companies can keep themselves secure moving forward. I also want to mention that we do have a free downloadable report for all of our viewers today. You can download it in the link below. The report is titled "The 7 Most Critical Things You Must Have in Place Now to Protect Yourself from Hacker Attacks, Cybercrime, and Data Breaches." So you can download that below in the link, or you can call this number right here, 877-358-9388, and we can set you up with that. And finally, we're going to be offering a free network security assessment for all of our viewers today. What this is basically a third-party validation where we'll come in and non-invasively make sure that your network is completely secure and that you've got all of the right cybersecurity protections in place to make sure that you won't get hacked. This is non-invasive, it's completely free with no strings attached, so this is a great way for you to make sure and just get that peace of mind that your company is completely secure from cybercrime. The way that you can sign up for this is by calling the same number, 877-358-9388, and we can set you up with a 10-minute phone call with either Jose, Mike, or Tom to make sure that you have the right network for us to come in and do this assessment. So to sign up for that 10-minute phone call, you'll just call this number, 877-358-9388, and someone will be able to assist you from there on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some valuable information out of it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.